Alright, welcome to the 2021 United States elections. We have plenty of races to go over tonight, including the Virginia governor's race, the New Jersey's governor race. We also have some down ballot races in Virginia, the lieutenant governor and attorney general, as well as the Virginia House of Delegates. We also have two House of Representatives races both in Ohio, as well as the New Jersey legislative elections, and two um, Michigan State Senate races. We will not be going over any mayoral elections tonight, even the New York one, which has been gaining a lot of attention. But just to remain consistent, we will not be going over any mayor elections tonight. But yes, let's get started. The 7 p.m. poll closings in the state of Virginia. All right. So before we begin anything, we can project that the National Governors Association will remain in the control of the GOP, as both of the governorships up for election are held by the Democrats. So whether they go Republican or Democrat will not impact who holds National Governors Association. In the Commonwealth of Virginia, in the governor's race, 2% in, too early to call. Terry McAuliffe is leading with 58.2%. However, this is coming out of Nova, Northern Virginia, which tends to vote Democratic. So even if he does win, we do not expect him to win by this margin. McAuliffe, of course, is the former governor of the Commonwealth and the former head of the DNC. Youngkin is a businessman who was formerly the CEO of the Carlyle Group. Yeah. And now in the Commonwealth of Virginia, for the lieutenant governor's race, Hala Isla is a member of the House of Delegates, leading against WINSOME SEARS, again 2% in. And in the Attorney General's race, incumbent Mark Herring, running for a third term in office against member of the House of Delegates Jason MIYARES, again Herring leading by a wide margin. And this is the National Governors Association map update for 2022. All the states that are in solid red or blue will not be up for election. Virginia is light blue, as Democrats are leading there right now, and New Jersey is gray, as there will be an election, but polls have not closed yet. Now, 7:30 p.m. poll closings on the Eastern Coast. It's the state of Ohio, where we can project that the Democrats will control the House of Representatives, again, as these races will not impact whoever controls the House. And in Ohio's 11th congressional district, we can project Shontel Brown, the winner of the race, a solid Democrat district. Brown won a primary against Nina Turner, who was favored by many progressives in the party, known as Bernie Bros by some. And in the 15th district, too early to call, 15% in, Mike Carey is leading against Allison Russo. Back to Virginia, we now have 14% in. McAuliffe still leading, although by a narrower margin. Same story with the lieutenant governor's race and with the attorney general's race. All too early to call. Democrats leading by fairly wide margins. Again, back to the map update. Virginia, has not gone red on the governorship level since 2009, and it has not gone red for presidentially since 2004. It voted for Joe Biden by over 10 points in 2020, but the race has become competitive. And at the House map, that should say seats, not governorships. That is an error. But yes, this is the House map right now. Um, the two districts that are not either solidly red or blue are Ohio's 15th, with Republicans leading, but we cannot call it yet. And down in Florida, the 20th district, Alcee Hastings, who died. A special election will be held, but it will not be this year. In New Jersey at 8 p.m. On the East Coast, we have a key race alert before we get into anything New Jersey related. In Ohio's 15th congressional district, Michael Carey, will be the winner. Now in the New Jersey governor race, former state assemblyman Jack Ciattarelli is leading against Phil Murphy, the incumbent Democrat governor. Now, we do not expect this to hold, although this race has become more competitive over for New Jersey, which is a solid Democrat state. This is mostly coming out of Republican counties such as Morris, Sussex, and Warren. And in the Virginia governor's race, 25% in, McAuliffe still leading by a sizable margin, as is the story with the lieutenant governor's race and with the attorney general's race. Again, Democrats leading by sizable margins in all. However, again, this is mostly out of the Northern Virginia area. This is the map update. New Jersey now colored in light red as a Republican is leading there, but the state has not been called for either party. And this is the House map. It is now all solid red or blue again, except for Florida's 20th, which will not be having an election until 2022. Now 9 p.m. poll closings. Michigan, the state of Michigan, and we can project that the Michigan Senate will remain in control of the under the control of the Republican Party, as neither race will impact control of the Senate. And in Michigan's 8th Senate district, we can project Douglas WOZNIAK, the winner, Republican. And in the 28th district, we can project Mark HUIZENGA, the winner. Again, these are both solid Republican districts. Back to New Jersey, Ciattarelli still leading by a narrower margin with 17% of the vote in. In Virginia, McAuliffe still leading by a wide margin. 32% of the vote is in. Almost all of Northern Virginia is in. So as we get more of the vote in, you will see Youngkin most likely increase in vote. And in the lieutenant governors, again, same situation as with the attorney general's race, 59 to 40. This is the National Governors Map Association. Again, same story that you see. And it is now 10 p.m. on the East Coast. We have no poll closings, but we do have a story with New Jersey. Murphy has taken the lead with 25% in. And in Virginia, now all of Nova is in. 38% of the vote is in all of Nova. Is in. McAuliffe still leading. by around 14 points, as is the story in the lieutenant governor's race. Iowa leading with 58% to Sears's 41.9%. And in the attorney general's race, Herring leads with 57.2% compared to MIYARES 42.8%. This is the governorships update in both states are now colored light blue, as Democrats are leading in both states. Alright, it is now 11 p.m. on the East Coast. Out of New Jersey, Phil Murphy leading by a wider margin than before with 35% of the vote in. And we can predict that the New Jersey Senate will be held by the Democrats. No surprise there. And the New Jersey General Assembly will also remain in the control of the Democrats. Now, the Virginia governor's race, much narrower margin, 44% and almost 50%. McAuliffe is still leading, but the margin is narrowing. And in the lieutenant governor's race, again, a narrower margin, not as narrow as the governor's race, but still, the race is starting to tighten as you see more votes from rural Virginia come in. And the Attorney General's race, again, closer margins you are beginning to see now that we are done counting Nova. Still the same map from the National Governors Association. It is now 12 on the eastern coast. Murphy leading with 43% of the vote in. And in Virginia, a very narrow margin. McAuliffe leading by 1.5%, with 50% of the vote in. In the lieutenant governor's race, Iowa is leading by a wider margin than McAuliffe is, but it is still close. And we have a key race alert, a key governor for a governor's race, National Governors Association. We can project Phil Murphy, the incumbent Democrat in the state of New Jersey, will win re-election in spite of a competitive race. And the Attorney General's race in Virginia, Herring leading by a very, very narrow margin. Yeah, so what you see is, now you can see that the Democrats now have 22 governorships. If they win Virginia, they will have 23, or if the Republicans win Virginia, they will have 28. But this is the map right now. Virginia is the only state that remains that is yet to be called. And it is now 1 a.m. on the eastern coast. With 57% of the vote in, McAuliffe leading by 0.8%. The race is definitely a lot narrower than it was at the beginning of the night. It is too close to call. As is the lieutenant governor's race. Iowa is leading with 1.8%, by a 1.8% margin. And Mark Herring with a very, very narrow lead over Jason MIYARES. For the Attorney General's race, same national governor's map. And the Virginia governor's race, Youngkin has taken the lead with 66% of the vote in. We are not ready to call the race yet, but he has taken the lead. Lieutenant governor's race, Iowa is still leading with 50.3% of the vote to Sears's 49.7%, again 66% in, too close to call. Virginia Attorney General Jason MIYARES has taken the lead, 1 point over Mark Herring. It should say too close to call, not too early to call. We are sorry, that is a mistake. And we have a key race alert for the Attorney General's race. Jason MIYARES, member of the Virginia House of Delegates, will win. This is a gain for Republicans, as, again, Mark Herring previously held the seat. You can see the graphic came up. This is a gain for Republicans. It looks good for Youngkin that down ballot Republicans are winning races, and we can project that the Virginia House of Delegates will go to the Republican Party. This is big, as the Democrats held the House of Delegates before, having gained it in the 2019 elections, but Republicans have picked it up, meaning that Todd Gilbert likely to be the Speaker of the House in Virginia. This is looking very good for Youngkin. Yeah, and this is the NGA map. You can see Virginia is now light red as Youngkin is leading in the state. And the Virginia governor's race, too close to call. Youngkin leading by 0.7 with 80% of the vote in. Too close to call. And the lieutenant governor's race, Iowa still leading by the slimmest of margins, 2.2%, 80% of the vote in. And we have a key race alert for the National Governors Association. We can project in the state, the Commonwealth of Virginia, we can project Glenn Youngkin, winner of the state. This is a gain for the Republican Party. This is big. Many were saying that he could not pull this off. There were some saying that McAuliffe was going to win by over 6 points. However, Youngkin has managed to run an effective campaign, and it seems that after a series of blunders from Terry McAuliffe, that Youngkin will be able to win the state. This is big, and this looks good for the GOP going into the 2022 midterms. This is the map update. We now have a complete map, how the National Governors Association map will look going into 2022. And the lieutenant governor's race still too close to call, although WINSOME SEARS has taken the lead with 94% of the vote in. And we can project WINSOME SEARS, winner of the lieutenant governor's race in Virginia. Projected winner. Again, this is another gain for the Republicans. The seat was held by Justin Fairfax. You have seen Republicans gain everything in the state of Virginia. This looks very good for them. They do not hold the state Senate, as that is not up for election. So we'll have to see how they do in the 2023 elections there. Now let's take a look at some state legislatures. Michigan, not much of a surprise. 22 seats to 16 seats. Republicans still maintaining control. Not a huge surprise there. Now let's look at the New Jersey General Assembly. Republicans gained 2 seats. They give 2 assemblymen per district. They have the same districts for Senate and State Assembly. The Republicans flipped a seat in the 2nd district and a seat in the 16th district, which was Chettarelli's former district. He did not win the governor's race, but the 16th district did flip red, one of its seats. And the New Jersey Senate, Republicans flipped one seat, the 8th district. Other than that, it is the same 16 Republican seats to 24 Democrat seats. And now let's look at the Virginia House of Delegates. This was big. Republicans flipped 7 seats to give 52 seats to 48 seats. They flipped the 10th, 28th, 40th, 73rd, 75th, 85th, and 100th districts in the state, meaning Todd Gilbert, likely to be the Speaker of the Virginia State Assembly. We forgot to mention in New Jersey, Craig Coughlin and Steve Sweeney. Craig Coughlin will be the Speaker of the New Jersey Assembly, and Steve Sweeney, the President of the New Jersey Senate. This looks very good for Republicans that they were able to flip all these races in Virginia. Looks very good going into the midterms. Thanks for watching. The template was made by America First Mapping. I'll link his channel in the description. The maps were made on YapMS. The legislative chart was made on the Parliamentary Diagram tool. The music is the MSNBC election theme by Michael Karp. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I will be able to see you on Tuesday. We might do a video going into the governor's race for Virginia. Bye.